Hi Beth, welcome to Get Me Experts. Would you like to throw some light on that, for the startups, what part of the HR they should focus on initially and how they can grow themselves further up from the HR point of view?
Yeah, certainly. So what's interesting about HR is I would characterize it in two separate areas. I would first of all look at the things that you have to do from a legal perspective or from a the statutory and the basic parts too of the employee relationship. So if that's benefits, compensation, right? You've got to get that, and that's part of HR. But the other part that's I think the more challenging is those parts of HR that start to affect your culture. Yeah. So the things that go to your performance management processes, your recruitment processes, your onboarding processes, and all of those. Those are really important to look at, and not just to say, let me figure out what every other company has done and let me just implement them here. But you have to say, who are we as a company? What are we trying to be? What is our culture? And then how do we create the right feedback tools for our culture? How do we create the right performance management for our culture? Not what are generic competency models, but what are the right competencies for our culture? And when you start to do it in that way that is tied to your culture, you set your company up to be able to grow and to have a unique identity. Another part of that too is to really take the time as you think about who you are as a company to identify a compelling mission. Which is, if you've got a compelling mission, a lot of people are joining companies today because they believe in the mission, because they believe in what we're doing, and then they stay for that same reason. So if you know that in some of your core values and align the HR processes to that, they can serve you much more than them just being standard HR processes. You can't leave it to chance. If you leave it to chance, you're going to get that standard hierarchy. That's what people are so used to that they're going to gravitate towards. So what you actually have to do is you have to actively work against that hierarchy. So, for instance, you have to have people like the CEO or people like senior leaders going straight to the expert, no matter what the expert level is. And when they do that, maybe initially, some people may say, you didn't follow chain of command, and be able to say, of course I didn't, right? We're a startup, we're nimble, we're agile. We need to get information the quickest way possible. And this is the quickest way possible. It's not an insult that I went straight to this person. And then you have to keep reinforcing that and make people really kind of understand that that's how you operate. Another piece of that though is, what you want to do with no hierarchy is anybody can talk to anybody else. The quickest way to solve a problem. Now, if the quickest way to solve a problem is in your own work group, then you should talk to your own work group, and it would be wrong to go and talk to your CEO, right? Because it could be solved in your work group. But if the issue needs to be solved over here, then go talk to that person over there. So, and I think that also helps people get more comfortable with the idea of minimal bureaucracy and anybody can talk to anyone, where they see it's not that you're trying to take me out of the loop, you're not putting me into a loop where I don't need to be.
Another challenge which we have observed with our clients or with the startups, that the founder normally try to see that there is a clone of him coming as an employee. So he or she sees that the employee should also behave in the same manner, same passion, same amount of work, same exuberance, etc. What do you suggest these founders that nobody can be clone of them, that's why they're founders. But how do they create this balance between their own aspirations versus the employee who's coming and contributing?
The idea of having a compelling mission so that the employees are excited and engaged around the mission still has employees stepping up and feeling a part of something. They're still not going to be the CEO. And so what I think we also need to do is we need to be educating our CEOs on the value of diversity and the value of not only gender diversity and not only geographic and national diversity and all these other things, but even the diversity of just how we think, how we problem solve, how we get our work done, and that actually creates a better product for the company. And there's research after research that shows how much stronger the business results are when there's diversity of thought, diversity of styles. So I think we have to keep educating our CEOs on the value of not cloning them.
Innovation is heard as a core value with all the startups. They need to innovate, they need to create something. Can innovation be taught? Can it be learned? What's your opinion about that?
I do think it can be learned. I think every opportunity, every problem we're trying to solve is an innovation challenge. And if we only think of innovation as the big thing, the big idea, then that becomes pretty challenging and pretty hard. But if instead we say, I've spent a lot of my career in learning and development. If we say, Beth, we need to do management training, and I say, boy, I, as the expert in my field, know that here's what the latest trends are. Here's what the latest technology is. Here's what's true about our company. And I can put those together and come up with an innovative approach to management development that's right for our company. And if everybody in the company can do that, everybody in the company can innovate in their area. Right? And I think part of that is about helping people understand that you want them to be the expert in their field. You want them to be paying attention to what the trends are. And you want them to be the one who says, as we solve this problem, I read this, I saw this, let me pull that in. And celebrate that innovation just as much as you do the big innovation.
That's great. I think there are a lot of pieces of advice and the suggestion you have given, and I think the more and more startups will listen to this video and learn from your experiences which you have.
Oh, I hope so. Yeah, I hope this has been helpful. My pleasure. It's been a lot of fun. Thank you.
Thank you.